U.S. economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. Do you understand that the banks are collapsing right in front of our eyes? Right this very second, the banks are collapsing.
The collapse is happening. We are in it. It is crumbling.
Look, the American economy is crashing right now, and most people don't realize how bad it actually is. You see all kinds of videos coming out about banks refusing withdrawals, massive layoffs, healthcare becoming unaffordable, stores that simply can't move inventory. And when you put all these pieces together, the picture is worse than what we're being told. So today, I want to share these videos with you because what people are experiencing on the ground tells a very different story than the official numbers.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger, this is just me trying to prepare you. The U.S. economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of U.S. GDP growth this past year and 80% of U.S. stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering. This is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place.
This government shutdown is not like the others. It's officially the longest shutdown in U.S. history. People think it's just about politics and budgets, but it's not. It's about control, collapse, and financial reset. They're not fixing the system, they're breaking it on purpose. Everything is becoming so unaffordable and we're living paycheck to paycheck. Most of us are struggling to survive. And I believe as we struggle, they're going to present their solution, which will be digital currency, which will give them full control. Look around. People are losing jobs to AI, the dollar is losing value, and inflation keeps growing. Every shutdown, every crisis, every fix that they create moves us closer to a digital system. Other countries have already shown us how it works. Nigeria has forced digital cash. China ties spending to a social credit score. Europe is preparing the digital euro and is already enforcing the digital ID. In America, we are next. So I don't think this shutdown was temporary. I think it's transformational. It's designed to destroy trust in the old system so they can roll out the new one. New system will be completely digital.
What these videos are showing is an economy held up by one sector while everything else contracts. And that's not sustainable. When your foundation is this narrow, collapse isn't a question of if, but when. The really concerning part is how many people are pointing to intentional breakdown rather than natural cycles. Now, whether that's true or not, what matters is this. If you're depending on one income source or keeping everything in one place, you are exposed. The crash is already underway, and diversifying now means you have options later. So, besides the economic indicators, check out what people are reporting at banks.
It clearly looks like the shutdown will go into next week. I think there might be very well a run on some of the smaller banks. I've heard reports, I don't know how true they are, but some individuals are having trouble, especially trying to get out large sums of cash. So a few individuals I've seen comments on just through the TikTok have said, they try to take out a large deposit, bank wouldn't grant that, wouldn't allow that to leave the bank. They didn't have it basically. So that's essentially what's happening when there's no cash, when there's no liquidity, the banks can't meet these withdrawals, and we will not have any of that money going into the banks, and we are going to potentially see a run on the grocery stores and a run on the banks because people are not going to have SNAP benefits, people are not going to have paychecks to buy food, and then on top of that, banks aren't going to have money to meet withdrawals. So
marketing tech can feel like it's reading your mind. It's powerful, but it can break trust. 73% of people will stop buying from brands they don't trust with their personal data. Protect your brand's reputation and business growth with our easy-to-use privacy and compliance suite. Start today with CookieBot by UserCentrics.
Current owners and lessees of an eligible competitive luxury brand vehicle get this exceptional lease offer on this 2026 Cadillac Lyriq.
So we'll see what happens next week, but there's no intention of reopening the government.
So I just went to the bank to take out some cash, and this has never happened to me before, but the bank teller says, "Why do you need the cash?" I said, "Just cause I like having cash on me." Then he goes, "Well, can I give you a bank draft or a check instead?" I said, "No. If I wanted a bank draft, I would have asked for a bank draft. I want cash." Then he goes, "Is somebody forcing you to take this cash out?" And I'm looking at him like, "Bro, nobody's forcing me to take the cash out. I just want some cash." Finally, he says, "Okay, I can give you the cash, but I need you to sign this document that pretty much says, I've offered you these alternative options, and essentially if you get robbed, the bank is not held liable." I said, "No problem, sign the document, get my cash, but is it just me or is this freaking weird?" And this has never happened to me before. I don't know if it's happened to you guys, but I'm just going to the bank to take out my own money that I work hard for, and it's not even much, just a couple of grand, and I'm getting fully interrogated just to take some money out. So, I don't know. I don't really like it though.
Basically, people don't have paychecks coming in to be able to, just go pay their bills. So they're having to go to the bank and withdraw the money out of their accounts and actually go pay those bills or buy those groceries. And the banks don't really have the money on hand because they lended it out elsewhere. And so the banks are having to borrow from the emergency liquidity market, which is backed by bonds and mortgage-backed securities. And since the government shut down and the first missed paycheck happened on October 15th, the banks have had to borrow a total of $106 billion. And you guys, that's not really good because sooner or later, the banks aren't going to have your money to give back to you.
Do you understand that the banks are collapsing right in front of our eyes? Right this very second, the banks are collapsing. From October 15th to today, they have taken $106 billion from the repo market. That is when the Fed injects liquidity into the banks with pretty much a IOU. It's not good. It has not been used since 2020. It is not something that is meant to be a cure. It is a band-aid to a banking problem. And now with that, it is a demolition of the system. Again, this whole government shutdown, all the jobs being cut with Amazon, UPS, other places like Target. This is the reset. It's like watching a slow motion train crash or car wreck, just watching it unfold right in front of your eyes, and you have zero power, zero control over it. All you can do is watch and observe and do what you can with trying to preserve whatever financial stability you do have, whether that's precious metals. I know some people go to crypto. I'm sketched out by crypto because that is their objective, a digital currency on the blockchain, everything tracked and traced, everything surveilled through AI governance. That is the future that they are trying to inject. They want to get rid of the old system, especially with how the government is functioning right now, and bring in a new system with corporations controlling everything. Just look at who's funding this new ballroom. Go ahead and look it up, all these corporations that are involved. I'm sure they have the public's interests at heart. I'm sure they just really love us as the little, peasants of the world. Just unbelievable to be living during this time.
As long as this government shutdown continues, as long as 670,000 U.S. Government workers don't get a paycheck, and if it were to continue to, December 1st, that's a 21 billion or so dollar plus amount of money that's not going into the system. That means credit cards aren't being paid. That means mortgages aren't getting paid. That means loans aren't getting paid. Car loans are getting paid. And it always starts in subprime, and we're already seeing that effect. So as long as this government shutdown, along with just the tightening of spending, continues, chances are we're going to see this liquidity squeeze get tighter and tighter. Banks are going to be borrowing more money or pledging more securities, treasuries, CMOs to the Fed overnight windows so they can meet their obligations. at some point, there's a breaking point in everything, and that is my concern.